If you were born after the year 1980, you have already committed the single most expensive financial blunder of your life. According to a recent research, all of the tech millionaires were born in 1955, which coincides with the fact that millennials are having a really hard time paying down payments for homes. And the survey also found that all of the tech billionaires were born in 1955. Welcome to Financial Fortune, the channel where we unlock the secrets to financial success and guide you on your journey to prosperity. In today's thought-provoking video, we address a pressing question that many young people ponder. Is it currently too late for them to achieve financial success? Join us as we delve into this topic, debunk myths, and explore the opportunities available to young individuals in today's dynamic world. Get ready to be inspired and empowered on your path to financial freedom. This is Financial Fortune. Gladwell contends that Bill Gates would not have been able to build Microsoft if he had not been born at the correct moment, and that if you were born after 1980, you were of an appropriate age to begin spending 5 figures for college tuition and joining the employment market when the dot-com bubble burst. It has come to Gladwell's attention that many people credit Bill Gates' success to the fact that he is extremely intelligent or extremely ambitious, yet these qualities alone do not warrant a net worth of $60 billion. The issue is also present in online role-playing games. Long-term players are unable to compete with newer players. In the actual world, there are major reasons that young individuals may never get ahead financially: employment prospects, skill gaps, relationships, and losing players. Despite the fact that millennials make more money than any other generation did at their age, the average age of retirement in America has been slowly increasing for a long time now. And this is having an effect on young people because there is less room at the top of the corporate ladder for young people to move up into. If you want to advance financially, you need to have an established career, and the best way to start one is through course careers, because they assist you secure a position by collaborating with firms who lower their degree in experience criteria to recruit course career graduates. If you want to move ahead financially, you need an established profession. While Wayne made the transition from working as a retail sales manager to a full-time career in technology sales, Josh left college and is now making $70,000 a year in healthcare technology sales. Both men work in sales. Even after donating $80 billion more to charitable causes through his foundation, Bill Gates is still wealthier than Mark Zuckerberg. This would have been the case if Gates had held on to his shares in Microsoft in the same manner that Zuckerberg has held on to his shares in Meta. If Gates had done this, he would have been in the same position as Zuckerberg, which is the financial pinnacle of their respective generations. The expense of complying with new data security and environmental requirements, as well as increasing hurdles to cross-border income, as well as the reduced buying power of youthful customers, are listed as the reasons for the expected slow returns. You will have to increase your spending if you want to see a positive change in your financial situation. If you are making $100,000 a year at the conclusion of your career, you will need to invest $1 million to save $70,000 a year in retirement. Alternative investments, such as cryptocurrencies and meme stocks, are attracting a growing number of young people because of the possibility of better profits. If you were to earn an average salary in the year 2018, you may expect to lead a life that is considerably less comfortable than someone who had an average income in the year 1978. If you give up a few indulgences, you won't suddenly find yourself richer. That's not how it works. Renters in this nation are not permitted to deduct the interest that they pay on their monthly rent payments from their taxable income, despite the fact that real estate prices are on the rise everywhere in the country. Renters are also at risk of having their houses taken away from them, which would require them to take on the costs of relocating, cleaning, and paying rent on 2 different residences. Young people who live in places with high costs of living are getting struck with high prices and high interest rates, which means that finding a place to live has become a recurring burden for them. The increased cost of real estate also results in higher property taxes, which results in a monthly payment that is 20 times greater than it was 40 years ago. Younger generations have greater opportunity to spend throughout their formative years, which are also the years in which savings have the greatest potential to grow. According to a survey conducted by Magnify Money, millennials are starting to save money sooner than their parents did at the same time that they are saving a greater amount of their salary. This is despite the fact that the economy is now experiencing some challenging times.
A lot of people want to retire, they want to retire early, but how do you know if you have enough money to do that? First off, let's talk about the factors that you need to consider when figuring all that out.
It's really complicated because everyone's situation is different from the other. So when you Google that question, the first thing that comes up is this 4% rule. And what does that even mean? It means that if you need $40,000 of replacement income, then you need $1 million to sustain you over 30 years. But there's lots of questions that brings that up. And what the 4% rule doesn't account for are things like taxes. $1 million in an IRA is very different than $1 million in a joint account. It doesn't account for one-time expenses. So buying a car or taking a vacation or buying a second home. It doesn't take into consideration your asset allocation, which is a whole nother topic, when clients are retiring. Someone that has all bonds probably can't keep up with that 4% rule. And lastly, and I think that we're entering this new age, as you mentioned before I joined on, this different retirement ages. People are starting and stopping. So how do we get around these difficulties? And so that rule of thumb might work for you, but oftentimes it doesn't. And so what do we do about that? Financial advisors will help our clients, and we project out into the future your expenses, your income, these one-time scenarios that you'd like to map out, like a home or a car, and grow all of that into the future and see what trajectory you're on. And that's just, it's tricky, but sometimes just getting help is the first step and having a plan.
Fidelity says the average person should save 10 times their income by age 67 in order to retire comfortably. What do you say?
It's really, it's so dependent on someone's situation. Pensions, do you have income coming in? Then you really don't need that much saved. But ultimately, it's not even so much as what you have saved, but it's what you spend. I've seen people that have loads of money saved, but their spending just can't sustain those levels. And I've seen people that have saved much less, but are going to retire very comfortably because of their spending level. So it's both of those in conjunction. It's how much have you saved and how much are you spending, and really getting a handle on both of those to figure out how much you need at retirement.
Catherine, what about where you live? How does that factor in?
It's a great question. Obviously, if you live in a high cost of living area, your expenses are going to be higher. You're going to need more from your portfolio. You're going to need more income. But I would say the number one kind of wrench that can be thrown in a plan is health costs. Health costs are rising rapidly, and we haven't seen stopping. So historically, those costs increase at 6 to 7%. And Genworth has plenty of studies that show, these costs are different across the US. And the most expensive places to have a long-term care effect are Alaska, DC, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. And the least expensive is Missouri, Alabama, Texas, and Oklahoma. So health costs are a really big factor. They're growing significantly. And I think they even said that 7 out of 10 boomers will have a long-term care effect in their lifetime. So it is something that you really have to be prepared for and create a plan for, in addition to just living your daily life.
Catherine, what about inflation? We talk about the fact that people are paying more and more and more in every aspect of their life. And to what extent does that potentially delay retirement?
Inflation is such a hot topic right now because everyone is seeing that inflation is incredibly high, but we just went through a historically low inflation period for quite some time. So when you average it out over long periods of time, it's typically around 3%. And so weathering these high inflation periods, you should also see some low inflation periods. So it's not about what's happening today or tomorrow. It's about what's happening over that 30-year span of retirement. So again, coming up with a plan, coming up with an investment mix that will be able to sustain inflation and your expenses, and not even just inflation for your regular costs, but these health costs that I just mentioned. So coming up with a good stock to bond mix that will help you reach your goals, but also sustain that inflation that is in the news right now.
And that concludes our empowering discussion on whether it's too late for young people to achieve financial success. We hope this video has provided you with valuable insights and the motivation to pursue your financial goals. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. At Financial Fortune, we're committed to guiding you towards a prosperous future. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, may your financial dreams become a reality. This is Financial Fortune, signing off.